Obviously, the big thing in the news at the moment is the coronavirus. You'd think it wouldn't affect us as much as anybody else, living on a boat and cruising around, but as you can see at the moment, we're not actually in the water, we're on the hard.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey, long for the ride, ho, hey.
We have got friends in Italy at the moment who've been quarantined, and they're kind of stuck in a marina, and we don't think it's going to be long before it happens to Spain as well. So it is affecting us in ways you probably wouldn't even think about. We're doing a lot of sanding on the boat at the moment, and we haven't got any dust masks, and the antifoul, when it dries, it sands off in a very fine dust, and it's quite toxic. So we're using old dust masks from years ago which aren't that clean. So that's one way it's affecting us.
When we're sanding underneath the boat, we couldn't find any masks anywhere, and this is what we've got from maybe a few years ago. It's really past its sort of day, really. It's like there's loads of grime in there, and this is with, the elastic's gone, and that's the only mask we had to use, because you can't buy masks anywhere now. They would be really handy. We had them for sanding really toxic stuff.
Another way that it's affecting us is we obviously shop at the local supermarket, and there has been some panic buying there. We just went in there yesterday, there was no meat, there was no toilet rolls, and the pasta and the eggs were very low as well.
We only came to get a few things after school, and it just turns out that actually everything's almost gone from the shelves. There's no meat, not that we eat much meat, but there's nothing. And like most of the pasta's gone, and everything's just, I don't know, people are panic buying in Spain.
Before it was up to there. Toilet paper, it's gone. Look.
Yeah, the toilet paper's gone as well. In case things get really bad, we've stocked up, because again, this is the most important thing to survive. Chocolate.
The schools as well, we've got the two boys are at the local school at the moment, just while we're kind of doing work on the boat. We just had word that the schools are going to be closed for a few weeks, so then we've got to revert back to homeschooling, which is what we do normally during the season. And that compounds our problems here, because we're supposed to be working on the boat with the kids out of the way and not homeschooling. So that's going to slow us down quite considerably until we get the boat back in the water. So all in all, it hasn't been too disruptive, but it's obviously definitely having an impact on our life. I know it's not as bad as some people. We have got friends that we hear from various parts of the Mediterranean at the moment who are having it a lot worse than we are. But even so, Spain has been criticised for not acting so quickly, and it's now, I think, the fourth worst case in the world after Iran, Italy and China. And they predict it's not going to actually get any better for another 2 months. So we're a bit worried, because in that time frame we're supposed to be leaving here. And if they start putting restrictions on Spain like they've done in Italy, then we're not going to be moving anywhere, which means then we've got to start paying marina fees, which is going to ramp up our costs hugely. So that's where we're at the moment, and we'll keep you posted on what happens.
So, like Woody said, our timescale for leaving is supposed to be roughly 2 months from now, in fact slightly less. And the idea was that we were going to go east, but as you head east, you've got the rest of Spain, and I know there's been worse cases of coronavirus further up north towards Valencia and Barcelona. And then you've got France and the coast of France, and then you've got the coast of Italy. And our idea was to go along those coasts and possibly down to Corsica. But yeah, I think it's worse over there. So it's very possible that when you arrive in a port, you're going to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. So, how you provision is quite important, really. You need to have always a 2 weeks amount of provisioning and food and stuff to keep you going if you're not allowed to set foot on the shore.
The great thing about being a cruiser is that everyone's always got months worth of food, so you've always got a bilge full of things that you might possibly need.
I mean, the other thing is that maybe you won't even be able to leave this port, and we won't be able to check in anywhere else, so you don't want to end up kind of lost at sea, not able to kind of dock anywhere. because of it. Even if we went down to Morocco, maybe Morocco wouldn't let us in without a 2-week quarantine. And on a boat, that's not as simple. You can't get someone to deliver food to you like you are in a house, really, or get home delivery. So yeah, it could get very complicated. Yeah, in the last few days, a couple of our kids, one's had a runny nose, the other one's got a sore throat, and then you immediately start thinking, is it the virus? Has it already spread without anybody realising? So that's kind of like, I'm sure that's worrying everybody really. As soon as your kid shows any signs of it, you're immediately kind of concerned. I suppose we're low risk, we're not elderly, so we're not at such high risk. So we don't need to worry in a sense, but then it's like passing on to people that we do know that are older and that may be more vulnerable.
Against all but essential travel to Spain and the Balearic and Canary Islands. 193 deaths from COVID-19 have been confirmed in the country, the second highest number in Europe behind Italy, and a state of emergency was declared last night. For the next 15 days, people will be confined to their homes, apart from going to work or shopping for food or medicines. The wife of the Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, is among more than 6,000 cases of the virus. EasyJet says its flights to and from Spain will operate as normal today and tomorrow, but from Tuesday, services will be cancelled, with only a number of rescue flights.
Here we are on a Sunday in Spain, and normally, everybody's out walking along the beach, spending time with the family, but the children's play park has all been cordoned off, taped up, and even the exercise machines around here have all been taped up so that people can't use them. And I'm not even sure whether you're really supposed to be out when I came to do the recycling, but it's very weird.
So the school is shutting down for 2 weeks, and Spain is going into a lockdown, which means we're not allowed to go to any parks, beaches or pubs or cafes, which is really affecting our life. So we're going to do homeschooling, but my friends aren't allowed to play with me for 2 weeks, and we both want to really play with each other. My two friends, we want to play each other, but no one's going to let us because they're all scared that we're going to pass on the coronavirus.
It's they closed down the school because it was coronavirus. So I had to do school, but it's Sunday, so
How much have you got to do?
I got 14 seats. Wait. I got English. Because I'm in Spain, so they teach us English, and I get to make shapes.
What am I deciding to go?
What else have you got in there?
I'm doing maths right now. The thing I'm worried about most is probably this.
Wow. What is that?
You have to do times and then colour it in. Yeah.
Lots of people are being affected in different ways, and cruisers are being affected because some of them can't get out to their boats, and some came out to do work but now they're heading back because they don't get trapped. So that happened to our neighbour just over here. They came to do some work all week, but in the end last night they left on an early flight, and we got deliveries of food and milk, the stuff that they'd got ready but they didn't need anymore. So I'm going to go and have a check because someone's messaged me, and I'm going to go and check on their boat because they can't get out to make sure their boat's all secure. And maybe I'll go and speak to a few cruisers later as well. So we said we might possibly ask a few cruisers about how the coronavirus is affecting them. So we thought we'd ask Chris. This is Chris, and this is his amazing yacht.
What's up, guys? Pleased to meet you.
Yeah,
I'm a British pensioner living on a yacht on my own at the moment, and on the yard. I'm now not sure what's going to happen with the coronavirus. There's a lot of ambiguity with what we can do. The supermarkets are nearly empty, but they're still crowded. Children's parks are closed. We had a barbecue yesterday, nobody stopped us. We're not sure really what's going to happen over the next few days or a few weeks, a few months even. I'm terrified about being locked up on my own boat in the boatyard, not being able to leave. It's Yeah, the prospects are pretty awful. And as I'm a pensioner, obviously an older man, I'm standing more risk. But I'm also very fit, so we'll see how it goes. I was also going to fly to England to see my grandchildren. That probably will be cancelled now, which is very sad. I haven't seen them for a long, long time. I just hate living in the boatyard. It's dirty, it's noisy. Seems little respect for people living here. There's a, I don't know if you can see this, there's a big travel lift here, and they're using a jackhammer, full blast, during the day. You can't even think when that's running. It is a boatyard, I can't complain. It is a boatyard, so there will be noise. But
This is how you've got to get up, haven't you, on this ladder?
the problem is I have an artificial hip here, and this hip I'm under medication with the doctor. And he told me not to take it easy, not to climb too many stairs, for example. Now I've got to climb this every time I want to use the toilet, every time I want to go shopping, every time I go up the boat, I've got to climb a vertical 4-metre ladder. And it's putting me through a lot of pain.
So this is how Chris has to get his water to fill up his boat. Putting up the hose.
It's so close to... look at that, it's going to work.
That's brilliant.
Super. The water point's here. That is about it.
Excellent. Yeah, this is what it's like really. Now that we've got this lockdown in Spain, this is our kind of our home on our boat here in the yard, and this is our playground. This is our garden, so the kids can come out here and they can play. Gary, what are you doing?
I'm flying my drone. Oh, yeah, it's gone up charge already.
And we don't really know what's going to happen. Like nobody does really. We don't know how long we're going to be shut up in this yard, but we're just going to carry on with our boat jobs. Got loads of things that need doing on the boat, so we're not going to run out of things to do. I mean, we need to get supplies of various different types of paint and primer, so we're hoping that that Chris is going to open the yard. He's been brilliant so far, but you know, if it's compulsory shutdown, then maybe he won't be able to open even if he wants to. So we don't know what's going to happen there, but we don't know whether the guys are going to come again on Monday and start lifting and launching boats either. It's all very much unknown because we don't. It's not so easy for us to follow the news here. It's Spanish, and our Spanish isn't that good to know exactly what's going on. So a lot of the time we don't actually know, and we just hear it through the grapevine randomly.
Probably 3.
So I think philosophically it's quite interesting to see how societies are going to react against, you know, this sort of, or react to this social isolation that everyone's going to experience. I mean, it's something that we can actually experience quite regularly living on a boat, because we're often at sea and we're often isolated and we don't have access to any services and amenities at all. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many other people manage. I'm sure it'll be quite difficult for some people who kind of feel isolated and really need that social interaction, and for other people it might be a new way of life. I mean, who knows, there might be people, more people taken to boats and living, you know, life that we do, which is often isolated. We'll see.
So I guess we're in the same boat as everybody else. There's nothing we can do about it. It's completely out of our hands. But the only thing you can do, I guess, is to turn it into a positive and just look at the fact that we're probably going to be stuck here for another 2 weeks. There are plenty of jobs to get on with the boat if we can get hold of the products and the tools to do it. So just looking around now, I can see about 10 jobs that I could do straight away. So it won't be all wasted time. We'll get plenty done on the boat.
You look crippled.
I seriously could easily do that, but
Yeah. Just do it normally. Don't.
beautiful boat, world cruising, world class. Skipper with the yacht master, great ice cream, great sense of fun. Looking for rich female, non-smoker, vegetarian, short-sighted, gullible, no taste in me.
So thanks for watching, and thanks in particular to our patrons who make these videos possible. Without your support, they wouldn't happen.
No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho.
We would really love to hear from you, so you could go over to the Patreon page or even the Facebook page and leave comments there.
Stay by your side, boat. Hey, you'll always be alright by me.
Let's go for a fight to get it. What?